Moving on to data sources. Qreli uses local and remote sources or files and APIs. These are added and configured once at the top level, then used throughout all your apps as needed. Sources may be added from the library, which is a collection we maintain, or you may create them yourself. Let's start with a local file source. Let's say you have an Excel spreadsheet containing some data. You create a new data source and upload your file there. Then, you define variables that will allow you to use it, for example, to populate a dropdown, checkbox, or radio control. Then, when an item or row has been selected, we can look up its properties or columns. We can also use these variables in logic, for example, to check if a column contains a specific data point. These local files are read-only. A more powerful source is the API. This allows you to access remote systems and pull and push data there. By doing so, you may also trigger specific actions, such as sending emails or texts, filling out documents, or updating CRM records. There are two parts to APIs: connecting to them and using them. To connect to APIs, use the Auth tab, consult its documentation for the type of authorization you need to add here. Usually it's a simple API key that you may need, or it may be something more complex that may require running an authentication function first. For certain APIs, you may need to modify the base API URL, as it may contain the name of your account with the remote source. Once connected, you will have access to whatever functions are available to you based on the permitted scopes. We chose to give you direct, unfiltered access to APIs because this provides maximum power and flexibility for your app. Once done with authentication, just ensure you have connected successfully. Try running a function to make sure it returns the data you expect, and not any errors. Now that the hard part is done, the rest is simple data mapping inside your app. In essence, you submit your own data and variables as required by the source API, then map and use the response in your app as needed. Please review the variables and triggers section of the documentation for a detailed explanation of the data mapping.